安安。哦，华生吧。
Dr. Watson, would you kindly close the door behind you so that we can limit the price of your carelessness to merely hours of work rather than days?
My apologies, Mr. Holmes. I found myself rather taken aback. I saw tidier houses in war-torn Afghanistan. Are those my surgical needles?
I ran out of tacks and the matter required immediate attention.
Was that my supper?
Plainly not, for I was the one who ate it.
I set it aside for this evening.
And for that I am grateful.
Is that my bed?
Watson, since you've proven yourself a master of observation, might I ask you to apply your skills to a more pertinent question? Namely, the whereabouts of today's newspapers. They are the key to everything. The newsboy is
我
usually
不是用
reliable.
买的。
Medically speaking, I often find that the key to everything is good sleep.
我
In a
今天
bed.
问了
Your papers
好
are
多
here
家
on the
电玩
table.
店，他们说台湾没有引进实体片
To，see what the postman brought today.
可是我又不想买数位版，所以后来我去用租的。哦，这个场景一模一样。啊，为什么床可以歪成这样？
This mess is getting out of hand. What will the landlady think?
不知道干嘛？这根本就是福尔摩斯会搞的啊！喂，可以把这椅子推走吗？不行耶。哦。我要干嘛？
Your order from Barnes' bookshop has arrived, Doctor.
Barnes insists on delivering the books to our door, even though we could easily walk to his shop.
伊尔杜尔公主的私人保镖莫名其妙失踪了。
Local
good service.
gossip, all of it uninteresting.
还要找啥？这个。
Another letter from Werner. I never reply, but they keep coming.
它这个设定连颠倒都可以看你。反正只要跟那
I
个
don't
东
see the
西互
strand.
动就好
Where
了
is。it?
Pardon me?
I am on the precipice of uncovering a pattern of crime across London spanning many months and involving many men. The missing paper cannot be a coincidence.
That's preposterous.
My dear fellow, life is infinitely stranger than anything which the mind of man can invent.
Well, life used your newspaper to wipe its posterior, so after that unpleasant discovery this morning, I disposed of it. But in lieu of the strand, perhaps I can deliver you something equally tantalizing. I have just returned from a patient of mine, Captain Stemwick, who...
No, that will not do. Grab your coat, Dr. Watson. Let us hope nobody has collected the dustbin.
The dustbin is yours for the digging, Mr. Holmes.
啊，不是再去买一份就好了吗？干嘛要去翻垃圾桶？哇哦！他还要根据下雨天气穿不同的衣服。 他还跟帮华生换装哦。那好吧，英国人下雨是不是都不喜欢撑伞？垃圾桶在哪？笨兽烫的都位，这是要我自己找到笨兽烫，是不是？哇，这个快速旅行哎！跑起来呀、福尔摩斯，没有办法用跑的吗？哦，可以。巴恩斯的书店。垃圾桶，回收站。为什么华生不提醒我？华生为什么不告诉我垃圾桶在哪里？侦探要自己找垃圾桶，这种鸡毛蒜皮的小事，不是应该是助手告诉我吗？我觉得福尔摩斯可能找不到了。
Don't look at me. If you want the newspaper, you'll have to get your hands dirty. If you come across one of my drafts, please leave it in the bin. If I am honest, part of me will enjoy watching you rifle through rubbish.
还是其实就刚刚在门口啊？哦，垃圾桶就在这嘛，它就在家门口啊。这是要干嘛？魔杖是不是？
A cactus spine. If it gets in your skin, it's awfully tricky to remove, and when laced with poison, the
它是
perfect
仙人
assassination
掌。
tool. You were mistaken, Dr. Watson. The paper was indeed dirtied, but not how you implied. It's potting soil. See, Watson? The conspiracy is real. Someone tried to poison me.
Poison? You? That's madness. Do you even have enemies that would want to kill you? Okay, perhaps
Get the Strand.
from Cordona.
Get your copy of the Strand here.
啊，你为什么不早点讲，害我翻垃圾桶？
Sorry, Mr. Holmes. I just sold my last paper.
Blast. Then why are you still here?
Boss pays by the hour. No sense in returning early.
You're a bright child. I presume you see everything that goes on around here?
Nothing gets past me, mister.
Then tell me, did you notice anyone suspicious at my door this morning?
Like the man with your newspaper?
Precisely. What do you know?
I know the value of a shilling.
Dr. Watson,
Cool, now I can take the day off.
can you describe the man you saw?
He was carrying a lot of books. Up to his chin they were.
Never heard of a well-read assassin.
Looks can deceive, hence the appeal of disguises. Which way did he go?
Not sure. I was distracted by customers. Sorry.
Did you see what he was up to?
Nah, not really. I saw him approaching your house, but I had a customer. Then there was a loud bang. I ducked down. Not because I was scared, because I wasn't. I had to protect the merchandise, and all I could see was him kneeling at your door.
All right. You earned your shilling. That'll be all.
Thanks, Mr. Holmes. Maybe I could be your eyes and ears, if you have more shillings. Get the Strand! Get your copy of the Strand here!
啊，那报纸就卖完了，还在那边卖报纸。哦。哦，他要他是这样子推理的哦。
From that Mr. Holmes murder? Yes, Barnes has his quirks, but he also has his scruples.
Not every pawn knows it's part of a game.
打开按键，按下正方形，固定带有书店照片的证据。哦，哪那么好笑？啊，开门嘞！
How about that Vogel fellow? He seems rather obsessed with you. Would he do something like this?
So, Barnes has a dog now. Who's a good boy?
他要先观察人家，过度劳累的结果。 报纸上的墨水，左腿疼痛，这样他也看得出来哦。巴恩斯先生的眼袋很大，应该是睡眠不足和压力过大的结果。走路一瘸一拐，可能受到过某种袭击。他应该只是个工作狂吧。那如果推理错的会怎么样吗？ 哦，我要把这个
for
移到
goodness
旁
sake.
边。巴恩斯先生刚是躲起来了吗？
Who goes there?
Sherlock Holmes. Now will you please?
Mr. Holmes. Golly, I did not see you come in.
Would you care to
他
answer
是
some
睁眼
questions
说
for
瞎
me?
话。
Well, I wish I could, but I am deep in the weeds with work. How about we reschedule in a month or two?
Come now, Mr. Barnes. It will only take a moment.
No, really deep in the weeds with important things. Well, help yourself to any book. Just take it and pay later. I trust you, Mr. Holmes.
Barnes doesn't seem like himself. Why is he acting this way?
You're asking the right questions, Doctor. Let's find a way to coax him out.
他还在扫描哎。
The ladder is broken recently, judging by the freshness of the wood. could hardly imagine anything more macabre. Basics of cryptoanalysis, cryptography in Egypt. It appears Barnes has an interesting hobby. Finest view London has to offer. In the language of Mycroft's secret agents, it's a sign. Dried flowers are replaced when the job is done. I wonder who the recipient is. An improvised stand, but it does make the flowers more visible.
Apologies, but I can't hear you. Please come back later.
Barnes has always been a little odd, but this is uncharacteristic even for him.
好像都没了。为什么巴恩斯的行为如此奇怪呢？安安，嗯？是我还没调查完吗？
The weather is dreary, isn't it? To be fair, my flowers could use the rainfall.
嗯？ 华生没有跟我出来吗？
We're looking for a cactus needle in a haystack. A spine in a book stack? No, come on, Watson, think. I like bookshops. One of the few spots in London where you are shunned for making a racket.
还有是哪里我没有找到的？完了，直接卡关！花生，救命哦，花生！我现在是书店的老板。不对啊！怎样好笑？ 到底要报童的证词配上巴恩斯的书，那为什么巴恩斯行为如此奇怪？ 绿色的没有，所以橱窗中枯萎的花是对的。
So, answers a dog now. Who's a good boy?
巴恩斯先生不跟我讲话了呢。
Didn't you once tell me that answers usually lie in plain sight?
可是它为什么有时候会出现黄色的？
Didn't you once tell me that answers usually lie in plain sight? Didn't you once tell me that answers usually lie in plain sight?
Do you know anything about this?
Excuse me, what? I'm not sure I know.
Do you know anything about this?
Excuse me, what? I'm not sure I know.
Can I ask you a question?
No, I don't know anything about that.
你们有看到他刚怎么喝茶的吗？ 他脸歪在这边跟我讲话，然后还可以喝茶。一定哪里有鬼吧
Excuse me, just one question.
I can't tell you because I don't know.
Do you know anything about this?
It's a shame I can't answer your question.
他说每个人都不知道。
Can I ask you a question?
Sorry, sir. I can't help you.
May I ask you something?
I don't think anyone here knows the answer. You should ask someone else.
Help me, please.
As much as I'd like to help you, I know nothing about this.
他们怎么都这么冷漠？我什么都还没有问，他们就都跟我说不知道。
Do you know anything about this?
No, I don't know anything about that.
Is this familiar to you?
I wish I could help you, but I don't know.
Can you satisfy my curiosity?
Excuse me, what? Well, I'm not sure I know.
好难哦。
Is this familiar to you?
I don't think anyone here knows the answer. You should ask someone else.
Hello there. What's your name?
Lily, I know, not very original. I should have worn something warmer.
Didn't you once tell me that answers usually lie in plain sight?
答案就在眼前。我感觉应该还是在书店呢。
Didn't you once tell me that answers usually lie in plain sight?
那为什么会耶？我把包子弄掉了。
Basics of cryptanalysis. Cryptography in Egypt. It appears Barnes has an interesting hobby.
可是好像能互动的我都互动完了呢。不是这个啦。
I could hardly imagine anything more macabre.
巴斯斯先生又给我躲起来。
The ladder is broken recently, judging by the freshness of the wood. 好奇怪。可是我没有办法取消答案吗？哦，有图钉的符号代表我要先固定证据才能继续调查。
可是没有图钉的符号啊。这个是十字的符号吗？华生有时候会是黄色的呢。
Didn't you once tell me that answers usually lie in plain sight?
卡关了，你看刚刚就是黄色的。
Didn't you once tell me that answers usually lie in plain sight?
Get the Strand! Get your copy of the Strand here! I'll stand watch, just in case the strange man comes back.
May I ask for your assistance?
Oh, if only I could help you with this.
咋办？这是要怎么办？这是要怎么办？回家有用吗？好像没有用。
Didn't you once tell me that answers usually lie in plain sight?
专注模式不是？哦。回去看看。好像没有东东。
Didn't you once tell me that answers usually lie in plain sight?
巴恩斯他刚刚躲起来了，他不想要跟我讲话。
Basics of cryptoanalysis, cryptography in Egypt. It appears Barnes has an interesting hobby. So, Barnes has a dog now. Who's a good boy?
房间好像没有。 而且他没有说那个十字符号到底是干嘛的。搜寻一处地点。哦，我看一下，跟花有关吗？
In the language of Mycroft's secret agents, it's a sign. Dried flowers are replaced when the job is done. I wonder who the recipient is. An improvised stand, but it does make the flowers more visible.
好像不是这样。哇，这游戏怎么这么难？救命的花生！花生，救救我！
People don't tend to come out for flowers when it rains. Perhaps I should try selling door to door.
Oh?
Encouraging people to stop and smell the roses?
Our national emblem. God save the Queen.
这就是那个仙人掌嘛。
Familiar spine? Is this what I found in my dustbin? It must take patience and care to produce a bloom so beautiful.
I imagine so. I
待
merely sell
售的
them.
玫瑰花。
The pot is damaged. The blow was severe, but softened by something.
Anything tickle your fancy, Mr. Holmes?
为了好看，还是为了掩饰？哦，还可以这样看人家侧面。不寻常的工作服。这到底选出会怎么样啊？
Mrs. Fleming, you look particularly lovely today. Is there a reason?
Does a woman need a reason to look or feel beautiful?
No, but your distant look suggests you seek one man's gaze in particular.
Who told you that?
Nobody. Merely a keen eye and some simple deduction.
Well, I'll kindly ask you to keep your keen eye to yourself, Mr. Holmes. I don't know anything about this, sorry.
What do you make of the flowers in Barnes' shop window?
Well, they could use a bit of water.
Do they mean anything to you?
Mean anything how? I'm not sure I follow, Mr. Holmes.
Why do you think they're there?
Are you suggesting... The flowers are for me?
It seems likely, does it not?
Oh, I hope you're right. I don't know anything about this, sorry. I don't know anything about this, sorry.
Are you familiar with Mr. Barnes?
Yes, no, not really. Well, in a way.
What on earth does that mean?
I know who he is, of course, but we haven't shared much more than a look.
A look?
Yes. Each morning I go for a walk in the park with my dog, and most days I spot Mr. Barnes there with his new puppy. So we see each other. Actually, we once met briefly while our dogs played. He was quiet and seemed unsteady as he approached. But since then, we've never spoken. I often see him staring through the shop window. Sometimes I wonder what he thinks about that would etch such longing onto his face. Are you sure you're asking the right person? I'm just a flower seller. I don't know anything about this, sorry.
One of these things is not like the other.
Come again?
The cactus. Those fearsome spines can prove a dole to remove, and the sap is often toxic.
And a rose thorn can give you tetanus, but we still grow them. The cactus seems comparatively harmless, though you have me thinking it must be valuable.
I was under the impression that you knew its price already.
Your guess is as good as mine. The first time I saw this cactus was when I came back from my break.
仙人掌是他休息回来的时候才看到的。这个是什么推论？巴恩斯先生喜欢弗莱明夫人。
I think perhaps I have been chasing shadows.
Do not despair, Mr. Holmes. Even the best of us make mistakes. We better tell Mr. Barnes what we've learned.
我之前看福尔摩斯的一些影集或电影啊，我每次都觉得他在推理的时候就是那种被害妄想症嘛。
Mr. Barnes, I know what you did, and I know why you did it.
I'm sorry, Mr. Holmes. I can't hear you very well from behind the door.
You ordered a cactus from the plant catalogue and then left it for Mrs. Fleming as a gift. You place flowers in the window to get her attention and wear high heels to appear taller and more desirable. You are her secret admirer.
小劳勃道尼演的吗？
I couldn't read this morning's edition of The Strand because it was covered in soil and spines. I know you dropped a cactus on it and then fled.
Barnes, it's Dr. Watson. Rest assured we are not interested in disclosing your personal affairs to anyone, including Mrs. Fleming. Please come out.
All right, then. So, you know what happened then? I was on my way back from the post office, having picked up the cactus and some books. It was quite an awkward package, heavy too, and when I got to your door, I dropped the cactus and your paper. Forgive me.
I needed that paper to prove a theory and prevent a crime. Your actions were rather disruptive. Your clumsiness carrying the post is matched only by the clumsiness of your romantic gesture.
Oh, it's true. I am useless with this sort of thing. I'm not even sure if Mrs. Fleming noticed.
我知道该怎么做。
As in most things in life, truth is the answer. Cease with the abstruse signals and anonymous gifts, and simply talk to the woman. What is the worst that can happen? She rejects you, and you are freed from this endless purgatory.
That... Yes, you are correct, of course. I do have a slight tendency to overthink things. Thank you.
So, at last, we return to the matter of the paper. I'm investigating a string of burglaries. Did you perhaps read of any before the edition was spoiled?
I don't recall, but you're welcome to read our copy for yourself.
You had an issue of The Strand here all along?
Well, naturally. I am a bookseller. I have a subscription to every magazine and newspaper in London.
So you ought to be familiar with the concept of burying the lead.
Oh no, my apologies, Mr. Holmes. I'll make it up to you however I can. I am an expert on obscure languages and translation and
Yes, okay. Just give me the paper.
消石爆炸震撼码头。
Come, Dr. Watson. Let us put this matter behind us.
Farewell, Mr. Barnes. I hope to hear good news about you and Mrs. Fleming.
Let me know if there's any way I can make it up to you. Tell you what, tomorrow's edition of The Strand is on me.
Well, that was an utter waste of time.
An assassination did seem rather unlikely.
There was supposed to be another burglary. I was certain of it. Something you wish to say, Doctor?
No. Well, only that you have a remarkable faculty for deduction and pattern recognition. And that perhaps, if ill-applied...
I see things that are not there.
Yes.
没错，你有被
It
害妄
is
想症。
London. There will always be burglaries. Doesn't have to mean anything.
So it seems. Forgive me. Without something to occupy my mind, I turn into an entirely different animal.
Which brings us back to my news from earlier. I think I have a case for you, a real one.
Truly?
Indeed. Though perhaps not as thrilling as your stories from Cordona. A patient of mine, Captain Stenwick, told me that his servant disappeared. I said I knew just the man to help. What do you say?
Oh, Watson.
Yes, I know it's not the most tantalizing mystery, nor the story to launch my writing career. But...
It's brilliant. Let's go.
Oh, good. Well, his house is nearby. Come.
终于哦，但我觉得那个仆人说不定也只是，就只是纯粹的躲起来而已。
Not much further now.
这里吧。我真聪明。
Is this lousy attitude of yours because of my altercation with Inspector Lockhart? Did he put you up to this?
Sir, the inspector has nothing to do with it. I'm telling you the same thing I tell anyone seeking a missing person.
Good day, gentlemen. Forgive the intrusion. Captain Stenwick, this is my colleague Sherlock Holmes, the consulting detective I told you about.
At last, a professional. This useless officer refuses to do anything about Kimmy here, my missing servant. What was your name again? I shall be certain to inform your superiors.
Sergeant Ruffles. And it's my superiors who made this decision, sir.
Have there been other disappearances lately?
Of course, here and there. But when life is tough and opportunity comes knocking, you can't blame those who answer.
Why has the police department decided not to help?
We investigate murders, thefts, fraud, arson, real crimes. A servant walking away from his master is not our highest priority. That said, if we find Kimahia breaking the law, we'll be sure to notify Captain Stenwick. Now, I must be off. Best of luck in your search.
You heard that, didn't you? The way that man spoke to me. I shall need your written testimony. Then we can lodge a complaint.
Captain, perhaps Mr. Holmes' time is better spent learning about your servant, so that he may begin his investigation.
Ah, yes. Quite right. Fire away.
我觉得这是一个又臭又长的。
Tell me about Kimahia.
He's foreign, a Maori, all the way from New Zealand. Biggest man you've ever seen, and as strong as two. Dark hair and fearsome tattoos. He doesn't speak a whit of English. Never bothered to learn. But I made do with pointing. I invested a lot of money in him, so he must be found.
就是剧情很多吧。
When did you last see your servant?
Kimmy here
因
normally
为
brings
都
with
要
the morning
从
papers,
对
but
方的
yesterday
对话
I
里
had to
面
get
去
them myself.
完成推
He
理。
must have escaped the night before yesterday.
May I see your servant's bedroom?
His shack is in the garden. You can't miss it.
Did you search the room?
被发
Of
现，
course,
重头戏
but
是不
only
是还
to
没
check
到？
he wasn't
他
lying
不是
dead
说这个是
inside.
恐怖的吗？
Everything seemed normal at a glance.
Is there any reason Kimahir may have left?
I should think not. He had all he could have wanted. Gainful employment, new clothes, and all the cabbage he
所
could eat.
有的卷心菜。
I take it this is the first time Kimahir has vanished?
Undoubtedly. The man seemed terrified of the city. I think it was all the noise. He never left this estate. Should he cause any damage, I will bear the responsibility, for it was I who rescued him from savagery and brought him here to England in the first place.
Did Kimahir make off with anything of value?
Heavens, no. I would have mentioned it to Sergeant Ruffles.
Still, he must have fled with some money on his person.
No. I kept his wages in my safe. For security.
All right, Captain. I think I have enough to get started. We shall first take a look around the mansion.
Go ahead. I'll be here, mentally drafting my complaint.
不能检查里面哦。
Looks like a knee print. Chewing tobacco. A shoe print, roughly size 11, with a worn-out sole. These are a workman's boots. Someone knelt here. The amount of chewing tobacco suggests they were waiting a while.
Amazing, Mr. Holmes. To read the ground like an open book.
在有足够线索的情况下，夏洛克可以凭借想象重现过去，按 R1 来发现想象的提示点。哦，要3个点才能开启想象。
This lock is quite unusual. It appears that the key should be bent to the right. A scrap of Hessian. These were sturdy boxes. It would have required a serious blow to break them. Impressive. The sack of grain retained the shape of an impact. Someone hit their head here.
这是什么？来这边看看。
Clothes made of Hessian. Is Stenwick really so miserly? A Maori nose flute. Ngurus, they're called. Button chops. The remains of a meal. A heavy chemical odor. Lend me your nose, Doctor.
Ah, I'll never forget that smell after my time in Afghanistan. That's an opioid, Mr. Holmes, a narcotic.
The ashes are long since cold. No air coming through it. Is this a Taniwha, a Maori water spirit, or something else?
Either way, it's giving me chills.
对，剩下这个。哎，它可以看那么高吗？哦，没有。到底是哪一个啊？为什么看不出来这里有什么不寻常的？
Impressive. The sack of grain retained the shape of an impact. Someone hit their head here.
真的没有呢。好吧，进去别的地方。
Stenwick makes his servant live in a tool shed. You think you know someone.
The rag reeks of smoke. Someone plugged the chimney.
应该跟前院没有关系吧？
Are you joking? Why would I know this?
I came across a pile of Hessian clothes in the shack. Are they Kimihia's?
Yes. I had to give him something to clothe himself. He seemed unfazed by his bare skin, but I found it distracting. I thought you were meant to be intelligent. Are you joking? Why would I know this?
The door to your garden has an interesting lock.
Yes, I have uncommon locks on every door of my mansion. It makes them harder to pick. Kimmy here and I both had a set of keys.
I'll need to borrow them.
No, you'll need to do what I tell you to do. Examine the garden.
Do you happen to know Kimihia's shoe size?
I wouldn't have the foggiest. But I'm sure it was enormous. Not that it matters. He spent his life barefoot. Despite my best efforts, he simply did not take to shoes.
哦，他不愿意穿鞋。
Has Kimihia ever indulged in tobacco?
No, the man doesn't even drink.
Are you certain? I found chewing tobacco in the garden.
I controlled Kimihia's expenses since he struggled with the currency. I would have known if he used tobacco.
Could have left these tracks. They seem fresh.
Hmm? 啥意思啊？
No air coming through it.
有两个人是不是？
No air coming through it.
有一个人想要害那个谁是吗？华生，你挡住我了，华生！不然为什么？华生，
Do you think Kimmy here had an accomplice in his escape?
我被他卡住了。 救命哦！华生，可以打他吗？
Yes, Denwick is no angel, but he's one of my few clients.
我真的被卡住了。华生，你不帮忙就算了，你卡我干什么？
Is this a Tanifa, a Maori water spirit, or something else?
没办法啊，他们是绅士啊，没办法打人吧？我真的被卡住了。他为什么不动
Is this a Tanifa, a Maori water spirit, or something else?
？Hello， 醒醒啊，华生！崩溃。没有对话也没用，他是背对着我讲话的。 直接快速旅行。这个应该是另外一个人吧？这个是仆人。
This lock is quite unusual. It appears that the key should be bent to the right.
"就差这个还没找到呢。东西到底在哪里呀？它能移动的方式也是只有这一块，这一块圆的。我要再回去找那个男的。
Why are you still here? If you find my man, I have a marvelous whiskey with your name on it. This dreary rain is making a miserable day even worse.
他们应该是不会来到前面吧？
This disappearance is intriguing, though. I cannot make head nor tail of it.
奇怪啊，我手把为什么在震动？哦。 材堆掉下来了。
Someone moved a cart to this spot and then took it elsewhere. Can't see it anywhere in the garden.
你们觉得这个插的一个是什么东东啊？它明明就是还有一个啊！哦，这个晃到我头要晕了，而且它不能放大缩小，所以范围一定是在这里。然后它只能左右移动。很奇怪呢。哦，那为什么我刚刚对着它没有
A small navy spyglass.
对话是指要去跟那个人对话吗？
Is this spyglass familiar?
I don't recognize it.
Could it be Kimahia's, perhaps?
I doubt it. I never saw him with it, nor could I suggest how he might have come by it.
然后呢？还差一个蓝色的，蓝色的是差一个物品。所以我现在是要把他的想象给推理出来吗？
Surveilling from afar, the intruder waited for a window of opportunity. When Kimahir went to sleep, the man crept up to the shack and slipped narcotics down the chimney pipe, then blocked it with a cloth. Kimahir inhaled the sedative and fell into a deep sleep. The intruder tried to move him, but the man was heavier than expected. The intruder fell on the sack and dropped his spyglass. In order to transport the servant, he had to use the cart. The final challenge was opening the garden door. Luckily for our intruder, Kimahir had the key in his shack.
Wow.
You'd best have found something by now, gentlemen.
I fear that someone may have spied upon Kimahir. Likely the owner of the spyglass I found earlier. It appears they were watching for some time, as there was an impressive amount of chewing tobacco on the ground.
And your point?
You said that you checked the shack earlier. Did you notice the cart tracks near it? Now, one ought to expect a servant to make regular use of such a thing. Indeed, I would have overlooked the detail were it not for the cart's absence. If, as you say, Kimahir never leaves your estate, then where did it go?
I expect answers from you, Mr. Holmes, not questions.
I found the residue of narcotics in Kimahir's brazier. There are several explanations, perhaps your servant's recreational interest, or an attempt at poisoning.
Cut to the chase, Mr. Holmes.
I won't keep you in suspense any longer, Captain. Kimahir was abducted by the owner of the spyglass. When your servant fell asleep, he slipped a narcotic into Kimahir's brazier to make him sleep even more soundly. In order to carry a man as large as Kimahir, the intruder stole the cart and rolled him right out of your garden.
Now, hold on. All this simply to tell me what I already know. Why haven't you found him yet?
I only arrived a moment ago. It is, frankly, incredible that I have already deduced so much.
Every second you dawdle here, waiting for me to stroke your ego, is another second wasted. I'm not interested in the how, the why, or the who. I am only interested in recovering my investment. Spare me the claptrap, boy, and go and fetch my servant.
Captain, you are so addled by delusions of competency that you miss the blindingly obvious. Without the assistance of others, you are utterly incapable. Kimahir endured your nonsense far longer than I will.
The point is, Captain, we're telling you this for a reason. The intruder fled through the garden door, and we need a key to follow his trail.
Well, then you should have led with that. Here you go. I hope you'll return soon with good news. And in the meantime, please teach your companion the art of brevity.
哎呦，啊，不然你自己办啊，你自己去查，找我做什么？河边啊，应该走这吧。该不会？眼睛跟冰水，还要调查。
Are you able to help me?
I don't think anyone here knows the answer. You should ask someone else.
我是要跟着轮胎的痕迹吗？玩这个会爱恐龙。
Many cigarette butts. Someone stood here for hours. A large pile of horse droppings. There was a cab waiting here. Our abductor slipped in and then off into the night. Sturdy rope, professionally tied in a Portuguese bowline. This knot is often used by sailors to create a bosun's chair. Roy Soulsby. Could that be the name of our man? A strange substance. I have my suspicions based on the color and consistency, but would you care to hazard a guess, Doctor?
Well, it's odorless, but from the way it absorbs water, I'd say saltpeter.
Then we're in agreement. Well done. Wheels picked up grass along the way. Kimahia's cart, I gather.
哦，完成了。然后呢？两个对了，差一个。是被水手绑架的。伦敦港，租一辆马车前往伦敦港。
The Strand proved not so useless after all. The saltpeter accident, Doctor, do you recall?
The Port of London, of course. The footwear, the spyglass.
Indeed. We shall need to take a cab there.
哦，离开后将无法返回。 我要怎么知道我有没有全部完成？应该是全部完成了吧。
Where to, Gav? The port of London, please. I will show you where to stop.
来不及了。第二章呢
？Mr. Holmes, what a compelling mystery we have stumbled upon. Perhaps I have the premise of my next novel.
One kidnapping does not a story make.
Stop! A black cat crossed before us. It's a bad omen.
Did not take you for the superstitious type, Doctor. Such things are mere fantasies, tricks of a feeble mind. One imagines a physician would keep a surer footing in reality.
Perhaps. Before the war, my time abroad was difficult. Once, I came across an African, bleeding. 我
们学校旁边有一个废墟正要重建嘛，然后可是因为它跟我们学校有一个地方是通的，所以学校怕我们进去危险，就拿那个铁皮吧把它挡起来。但是我们那时候国小小屁孩嘛，都觉得那个是鬼屋，然后我们就会一群人趁着10分钟下课，要跑去探险。然后有一次呢，我们才刚到门口，就有一只白猫，全身白的猫跳下来。然后对我们喵了一声，然后把我们全部都吓跑了，超可怕。
To each his own, Dr. Watson. So long as it does not interfere with my methods, do it. We must press on, cat or no cat. The question remains: why
我们就
abduct
整个
Kimahir?
疯狂的跑回教室，然后就再也不敢去了。司机去哪了？因为我们都把它当作是鬼屋嘛。啊，你这时候猫跳下来，有够恐怖的呢。
May I ask for your assistance?
I don't think anyone here knows the answer. You should ask someone else.
Do you know anything about this?
I think I can help you.
此人通常在船屋附近徘徊。
Is this familiar to you?
I can't tell you because I don't know.
这个好玩吗？这会要动到头脑吗？好像要，但有点爱苦。
Help me, please.
I don't think anyone here knows the answer. You should ask someone else.
我现在狂打哈欠，可是我下午才刚睡饱的书。
Can you satisfy my curiosity?
I don't think anyone here knows the answer. You should ask someone else.
Can I ask you a question?
I'm sorry, but I don't know anything.
是怕会踩雷吗？
Could you help me?
I don't think anyone here knows the answer. You should ask someone else.
Do you know anything about this?
Sorry, sir, I can't help you.
Excuse me, just one question.
I don't think anyone here knows the answer. You should ask someone else.
么不想刷卡
？Excuse me, just one question.
No, sir, I've never heard of it.
Can you satisfy my curiosity?
No, sir, I've never heard of it.
船屋，船屋是哪里啊？
Could you help me?
It's a shame I can't answer your question.
所以没有办一张自己的信用卡吗？挡住了华生。
Excuse me, just one question.
You're lucky to find me.
索尔斯比可能是去看昨天在第三码头附近爆炸的那艘船了。哦，原来是这样。昨天爆炸的船，哪里是第三码头？
Are you able to help me?
I can't tell you because I don't know.
May I ask for your assistance?
Sorry, sir, I can't help you.
Can I ask you a question?
No, sir, I've never heard of it.
这找人真的是太难找了吧
Is this familiar to you?
As much as I'd like to help you, I know nothing about this.
Excuse me, just one question.
Sorry, sir, I can't help you.
May I ask for your assistance?
Sorry, sir. I can't help you.
Are you able to help me?
I don't think anyone here knows the answer. You should ask someone else.
May I ask for your assistance?
Sorry, sir. I can't help you.
太扯了，那个人到底在哪里？
Excuse me, just one question.
I don't think anyone here knows the answer. You should ask someone else.
Is this familiar to you?
Sorry, sir, I can't help you.
“他们怎么都不认识彼此呢？”
It appears that the saltpeter explosion rattled the locals. Can't blame them for staying at home.
为什么没有办法跟那个人对话
Is this familiar to you?
Sorry, sir, I can't help you.
Not in the mood, mate.
就是你。
Pardon me, sir. I am looking for Roy.
Not again. Yes, I'm Roy. But I can't help you find your uncle or whoever you've lost.
Now, what makes you think I would inquire about missing people?
You are the 4th person to ask this week. Just because I work at the port doesn't mean I keep track of everyone who comes here.
You say we are not the first to ask you about a disappearance. Do you recall anything about those who came inquiring?
I only remember the foreign woman. I didn't catch her name, but those are her posters hanging up everywhere. She has badgered me twice now, and I still don't know nothing.
And this woman can be found?
No clue. She was talking gibberish.
May I ask what you're doing here?
This is where the ship sank the other day. I'm trying to work out how we'll remove it.
Now, where was I?
平均身高，看他是看他眼睛的中间就可以看得出他平均的身高。哦，他很有钱哦。小偷应该要肌肉很好吧
？Sorry, doesn't ring a bell. Sorry, doesn't ring a bell.
Have you seen this before?
My card? Where did you dig that up?
At a crime scene near Baker Street involving a young servant's kidnapping, I might add.
No. Someone used it without my consent. How else would it end up there?
这个要不要存档？我决定我要去玩《绝命精神病院醒醒脑》了。现在才9:42，玩了1个半小时左右加爱困。我看看哈。我的替身感觉这礼拜会好耶，不然就是要等到在下个礼拜。激战佣兵吗？ 会呀。有没有考虑用租的呀？像我租福尔摩斯7天160块。不是哦 ，PS5 它有 PS5、PS4， Xbox 吗 ？Xbox 我不知道，但有 PS5、PS4跟 Switch。它有分租7天，然后2个礼拜跟1个月，但能不能租更久我就不知道了。我先把这里关掉哦，然后到这个网址看那个绝命精神病院。